This is Annie Lynn, and I will be presenting the obesity status seen in Mexican American children in El Paso, Texas. My presentation will include an overview of obesity statistics, the background of obesity in El Paso, Texas, obesity determinants in my target population, and possible interventions. Obesity is considered an epidemic in America and across the world. According to the World Health Organization, it is the most serious public health challenge. When we look at obesity trends, the number of children who lived with obesity has tripled since 1970 until 2012. There are many negative effects to living with obesity. Aside from comorbidities such as diabetes and heart disease, musculoskeletal diseases, there are also behavioral, psychological, and social diseases. The causes of obesity are multifactorial, and a lot of attention has been given to its prevention since obesity has been found to be a preventable condition. Obesity is seen in many populations, but it is more prevalent among certain populations, one of them being the Hispanic Latino population. When compared to non-Hispanic whites, the Center for Disease Control noted that Hispanic Americans, Hispanic children, and Hispanic women are more likely to be overweight and obese. There are many different factors to this, including genetics, lifestyle choices, and social ecological factors as well. El Paso, Texas, have alarmingly high rates of obesity. The demographics in El Paso include 81% of Hispanic Latino population. As we can see on the screen, El Paso sits on the border of United States and Mexico. There are many disparities along this border. It is one of the poorest counties in America, El Paso County. It has lower levels of education, lower levels of income, lower rates of residents having health insurance, and higher rates of unemployment, higher poverty rates, and higher rates of food insecurity. Therefore, all of these factors contribute to the greater risk for El Pasoans to acquire obesity and negative health outcomes. In 2016, 23.3% of children under 18 experienced food insecurity in El Paso. According to Feeding America, this percentage decreased from 34% since 2011. However, this is still a great number of children, 55,000 children, an estimated number, that are unsure when they will obtain their next healthy meal, either because they have limited access or because it's just not available, or they are not able to afford it. According to the social ecological model, there are different levels of obesity determinants. On an individual level, being Hispanic is a determinant. It is one of the demographics that have the highest rates of obesity. Gender, such as females, it is seen that Hispanic females are more likely to be obese when compared to white non-Hispanic females. Socioeconomic status and language barriers that prevent them from getting the nutrition education and health education that's needed. As far as the setting level, migrant status leads to environmental shifts and acculturation. Transportation, lack of transportation also is a determinant because they are unable to get to the doctors for preventative care. As far as the sector level, many residents are unfamiliar with the healthcare system in America, which leads to the lack of coverage. A good percentage of them believe that their immigration status will be jeopardized if they apply for Medicaid for their children. And also, there are not enough healthcare providers in El Paso County. As far as the cultural norms and values, chubby children are seen as a sign of health. Before migrating, malnutrition and lack of food was common, so having more weight on children became more desirable and valued. As far as a potential intervention, garden-based learning has been used as an effort to improve nutrition and dietary behavior, as well as to prevent and reduce obesity. There were several studies done in El Paso and in the state of Texas and all across America using garden-based learning. The basic idea is to increase knowledge, increase exposure, and increase access to fresh fruits and vegetables and healthful foods, including how to use the produce in recipes. And the goal is to reduce and prevent obesity, to acquire health and eating habits, and also it improves academic performance and social skills. And overall, in the end, it instills lifelong habits. This is because children spend most of their days in school, and habits that are acquired in childhood are often continued through adulthood. The scientific basis for this intervention is peer learning and social cognitive theory based on Bandura's learning theory. The students, they share their observations on what worked and what didn't work. They go through trial and error together. They share their experiences. And through the seed to plate method, they will feel a sense of community together. They will be more inspired and encouraged to receive the health benefits of garden-based learning. So this form of peer learning is basically they're able to learn indirectly by observing and modeling from peers that they can identify with, and that overall promotes their self-efficacy. As an action plan, one way they can bring this intervention to life is through the agency Texas A&M AgriLife Extension. In El Paso in particular, Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service has been a great resource. It provides training to gardeners in the area, giving them the title of Master Gardeners. Volunteer gardeners love to give back to the community and to help school gardens. That would be great help financially since it would not require much overhead. Also, since migrants are an at-risk population for obesity, since they face specific challenges such as environmental changes and acculturation, being at the border of Mexico and America, the soil needs in El Paso may be very similar than what they're used to from their homeland. So it makes it more possible to choose crops that they're familiar with. This would encourage parents and grandparents to get involved in garden-based learning with the children, which increase the impact of its benefits. Additionally, they might be more encouraged to prepare traditional recipes at home as opposed to buying fast food and energy-dense foods. And further, this would decrease the barrier of the dietary shifts that they experience migrating to America that contribute to obesity. Thank you.